Our goalkeeper of the week is Pirates' shot stopper Wayne Sandilands, who made several acrobatic saves as Pirates. Our goalkeeper of the week is Pirates' shot stopper Wayne Sandilands, who made several acrobatic saves as Pirates sealed a hard-fought victory over relegation-threatened Black Leopards. Nathan Sinkala, who scored the winner for Stellenbosch against Supersport United, features in the harder defense alongside Maritzburg's Rushin de Rook, who impressed against Chiefs. Musa Lebusa's heroics for rampant Sundowns earns him a place on the left side, while Leopards' Kuliso Mudau completes the quartet. Dalen Carson's quick-fire brace against table-topping Chiefs earns him a well-deserved spot in the middle of the park. Carson's teammate Tebogo Tlolane also impressed in that game, while Lindo Gutlembata gets the nod following his lively performance for Highlands in their 2-0 victory over Celtics. Those strikes were registered by Namibia's Peter Shalulile, who took his tally to 11 goals for the season. Joining Shalulile up front is Gaston Serino, who sparkled for Downs in the 3-0 drubbing of Chipa, and Vincent Bule, who provided the fortuitous shot that ended up in the back of the net in Pirates' 1-0 win at Leopards. Our coach of the week is Eric Tinkler, who tinkered his team to a shock victory over table-topping Chiefs and Bidvest Wits in the same week. Tinkler will be hoping the victory propels his team in the season run-in, as the team of choice are now vying for a continental spot.
And that's how we start this week's discussion with our PSL 11, the team putting together a team of players that have shone over the last 72 or so hours, maybe even back into last week. Some of them were considered. As we get into another Monday night of Front Runner Football Podcast, I'm joined by John T. Mark. I've got Chris Bongo in the house and Mazola Molefe. Remember, as far as that 11 is concerned, you're more than welcome to give us your starting 11 as far as the players that have stuck out in your mind, because amongst us we have the likes of Mazola, whose emojis on Twitter would suggest that you have a better list.
No, I was just brushing my goatee.
Yes.
He's thinking about it.
Is that what? No, I mean that was hours ago, wasn't it? When you were thinking about it, what's the conclusion you've come to?
Yeah, fair enough. I think,
No, it's a subjective thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we don't. I mean, it would be nice.
I mean,
to have all the stats.
there are some games that obviously we weren't able to see, like
Sure.
the Cape Town City Polokwane
Right.
City game, which 5-goal thriller. You would assume that there were some bad performances and some good performances.
Right.
So,
No, for
Yeah,
sure.
Not being able to see the game, I can understand why you wouldn't put them in.
Exactly.
Basically,
Exactly.
at that point.
You know, you don't know if the goal went in because it slapped him on the head and it went into the goal. You don't know. We don't know. So anyway, that's based on the games we do get to see. So that's how it is. Maybe you got to see the same games as us and went to a live match. Then you'd have more to base it on. So give us your 11. Who knows? Anyway, let's get into the show. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Lots to reflect on. Not least of all, Kaizer Chiefs slipping up a little bit. But, you know, before maybe we focus on Chiefs, credit must go to Eric Tinkler, who in the space of a couple of days managed to dispatch of Bidvest Wits and Kaizer Chiefs.
Well, I was at the Wits game.
Yeah.
And they were the better team. End of.
Right.
Gavin Hunt tried to say, that we didn't really deserve to lose, but it's not true. Maritzburg were the better team throughout the game.
Yeah.
I thought, and Wits just couldn't get past, couldn't work them out defensively, couldn't find a way through them, looked kind of fatigued. obviously bounced back against Barocca, but yeah, I thought Maritzburg were excellent, especially Rasheen de Ruyck, who's fast. Fast improving his credentials as one of the best centre backs in the country.
Yeah. Right.
He was unbelievable. Every time the cross came in, he was in the way. So it was like he just has this sixth sense for where the ball's going to go.
Right.
He finds a way to block or intercept. So yeah, to be fair and honest, I didn't see the game, Chiefs Maritzburg game. I missed it. But on the evidence of Maritzburg, on the evidence of that game, and the fact that obviously they have caused problems for Chiefs in the two previous times they met, it was something that was a possibility.
Yeah.
And I'd have seen the highlights, and I think that obviously Klaassen took his goals really, really, really well in a way that I haven't seen Dalen Klaassen take goals before. And it looked to me like Maritzburg was simply more clinical because Chiefs had their chances, but didn't take them. And Ofori was outstanding, while Akpay made a howler. I'm not sure that Akpay deserves quite the stick he's getting.
Right.
But,
I think it would have gotten it because of him being at pay and who's waiting in the wings. I think it was always going to be a case of.
Right.
And he was subbed within 23 minutes and hadn't played until 4 months went on without him playing until he made a return against Royal Eagles.
Yeah.
And in that game where he got injured, Ernst admitted that he put him in the team because of pressure from the fans. Because he knew, his medical team knew that he was not fully fit and that anything could happen. Whether he takes a goal kick, whether he stretches himself too hard, he could get injured because he was nowhere near being ready after that shoulder op.
Right.
And lo and behold, he got injured, and Akpay, replaced him and did it well, winning, an accolade with that Player of the Month. I think it was Player of the Month for November or December. I'm not sure of the month, but that's my point is he has caved in before, and he's immediately said it after the Maritzburg game that his goalkeeping department is now under pressure, because if a fan favorite is sitting on the bench and the club captain is sitting on the bench, it's going to take a mistake from McPay. Obviously, it's not. It probably isn't the manner of, you know, I suppose it is the manner of goal, how he concedes the goals, but routine sort of goals conceded wouldn't have him lose his place.
Right.
But something like what happened on Saturday has put pressure not only on Ernst, but on, like he said, on his goalkeeping department as well. And like we've been saying, he's a loved figure. A fully fit Tumeleng Kune is the best in the country. We know that, you know, yes, he's not getting any younger, but yeah, and also the fact that he's just signed a new contract also, it goes to show that the club isn't quite ready yet to look elsewhere for someone to be the number one.
But there is another point as well to make. As a footballer playing, what happened this weekend against Maritzburg, if you have Kune behind you as a centre back, you kind of have a confidence, and that's something that Kune can bring in the team. It's not only that, listen, as a goalkeeper is better than Nakbe and is what he's achieved, but knowing he's in the back, you as a defender, you feel much comfortable based on what's just happened, not because he's not
going for you. It's Black Leopards when it's not, because this was a game that, you know, you look at when the goal came, you look at the fact that it came with a player who was subbed on to kind of help, you know, the team nick that point or even try to go for three, but then he ends up coming on, Mokoena, and unfortunately for him, the most wicked of deflections means that Black Leopards walk away with nothing from that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was unlucky. They were unlucky, you know. And as Zinbauer said after the game, also they needed a bit of luck to win that game. You know, I thought both teams could have nicked it. Wayne Sandilands, you know, the two saves that he made in each half, especially the one in the first half from that Edwin Jimma header, you know, arguably save of the season so far.
Right.
And I think Pirates had picked up the momentum in the second half despite the heat and the conditions and that. But Leopards also were value for money as well. You know, for me, it could have gone either way. With Pirates winning, it obviously puts pressure on. Kind of opens wide the title race to some degree, even though they've played a game more. Sundowns won as well. Vets won. You know, people talking about Chiefs potentially choking and that. For Black Leopards, it's tough because yes, they've also got a game in hand. But Baroka, Polokwane City, Leopards.
They're all
and Amazulu.
And Amazulu
on 4 teams, points. 4 teams on 20 points.
And then, you know, Cape Town City 22 points, 24 points. You know, so
everyone's in the mix there.
Yeah, everyone is in the mix there at the moment. It's going to be, you know, they would have needed that victory, Leopards, especially at home. Or even that points.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
They've been good.
So the next one for Pirates, even more interesting. So we're to Derby, I think. So
they've got what, 2 weeks to.
They've got 2
to
weeks
rest.
To rest, but
it's a lot of time, a lot of downtime.
If you think about the fact that with a minute left, Leopards have the ball on the left, send in a hopeless cross that
thank you.
So easy for Wayne Sandilands to grab, and then you could argue that Pirates just go up the other end and Poulet put in a decent cross, and he got very lucky in the deflection. But at least put in a ball that was, you know, threatening.
Exactly.
And by that time, I think Matlaba was tired or something like that. Couldn't. But
I think again, when you're on the run that Pirates are on in the league, these things just turn for you, and also they do like attack, and they are an aggressive team. When you're an aggressive team, you also get them breaks. Right. I do think Sandilands is a goalkeeper for me also that he's just a bit over-criticized. He's been a bit over-criticized. Like always when you're a goalkeeper, your errors are
big,
magnified, of course,
magnified a huge amount. Like I was going to point out with that Pay, you know, in December he's busy saving a penalty from Dalen Claassen that's getting his team a point basically.
Right.
Now he's dropped the ball. There was still a lot of stuff that Maritzburg had to do. Lani still had to whip the ball in.
All the 4 defenders they were there, they did nothing.
Still had to hit like a sweetly timed inch-perfect volley into the
so it can't all be
It wasn't completely him, although he should have held on to the ball.
Right.
But goalkeepers' mistakes get magnified, and in that sense, when they do make game-saving saves, That was the right way of putting it. They deserve to be praised, and he deserves an immense amount. That was an unbelievable save. It was one of the best saves I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the time slowed down almost.
Yeah.
You
And
got
the
that
fact that
push.
he didn't even push it back
No,
into
no, no,
play.
no, no.
Yeah,
Carried
up
it
and
over.
over
Beautifully,
almost.
beautifully done.
Yeah.
I was very upset with Matlaba. For the first time, he played the position that I would love to see Matlaba play, which
Right.
is right midfielder.
Right.
Often Orlando Pirates, they play him at the back.
At the back, yeah.
He is such a good player being in that position, but none of his cross found Musonda. None. Musonda making a run in the middle, found him. That's what he does. He's top goal scorer last season. Most of his goals score with the header. He's playing with you. He beat 2-3 players, and he look up. He saw a player coming in. The cross goes there all the time. The first 20 minutes of the game, it was Black Leopard 72% of the ball possession because they were passing the ball quite well. They managed the game well.
Right.
If Sunderland was not the player of the match, for me it was Jima. Jima was superb.
Mudawu was also quite good at
Yeah.
Mudawe as well, but he didn't.
Centre-back
Jima
with
did
the-
not give Mango any chance. In every single situation, he just take the ball away from him.
Yeah.
He kicked him. He pushed him.
Yeah.
And
Had
He nullified
one
him.
chance first half, or if he'd taken it first time.
yeah.
But the ball
That's
came.
the
So,
only- yeah.
the
That's
ball
the
came
only-
so
It was
close
so
to
awkward.
him.
It was
Yeah,
so
it was so
awkward,
awkward.
yeah.
But he still managed
That's the
to.
only chance he had.
Yeah.
Mango,
Yeah.
throughout the whole game.
So
yeah.
Black Leopard, they should be feeling. I'm feeling like we might just see another coach getting fired very soon.
Why? Where?
You have to save your.
Are you talking about the Black Leopards coach?
Yeah.
What's he saying? Sorry, I missed that.
Another loss.
Says
Says getting
Alan-
fired.
Yeah,
Alan's gonna go.
Yeah.
Another loss. Another loss.
I don't think so.
Well,
8
look,
games.
What they might do is bring someone in and then
Keep him
demote
on the
Alan to
side.
assistant.
Yeah,
Because
but-
you have 8 games to go and then you're sitting there. You don't want to lose your status.
Yeah, but I
Status
mean,
is
I
very
think Alan can
expensive.
take a lot of heart from that game and say, listen, if you give
is
guys
zero.
perform like this,
It is 0.
yeah, but against a good informed Pirate side, they're sitting second of the log.
Yeah.
It's different if you're saying to me it's a team in 10th. That's,
And,
you know.
and in the manner in which they
I hope
lost the
the
game.
Exactly.
I hope the owners see that when listen, it's cheaper they understood. They played 3 games against top teams. They lost 9 points, but the next loss it became a problem.
I don't know. The chairman was watching that game. If he didn't look at that game and think unlucky, then I don't know. You know, because I mean that's exactly what they were. They were unlucky on the day. Let's keep it moving. And it's you could have said it was luck for Stellenbosch at a certain point, but now it just seems like form, and they're
Like you say
able
with
to do
Pirates.
it. And now they're sitting in 9th, 27 points, 3 points away from the hallowed 30, which seems like they're on track to get. And it's their high-profile signing in Nathan Sinkala who gets them the winning goal.
Yeah.
That's what that's what you pay these big players to come and do, right?
We have Maritzburg, we have Stellenbosch, we have Orlando Pirates. They are on the ascendant. They are not losing, so it becomes very difficult.
It's a very interesting mix. You would have never thought those 2-3 teams could be bundled together
part together.
as an informed sides.
Yeah.
But there you have it. Stellenbosch, I mean, I guess they're also, in a way, exposed the chinks in the armor of Supersport.
Well,
Supersport United are just not able to cope with games that you think if you're
Minnows.
challenging for the title,
Well,
you have to be
let's
able
put it
to
this
get
way.
something out of it.
This was a shock in inverted commas that you could see coming, because you just thought to yourself, they've just lost the Arrows. They're basically out the title race now.
Right.
They're gone.
They'll finish 6th.
They'll finish sixth, as Chris Bongo said.
Yes.
And we will all praise him at that point. But I mean, they just. I don't know what it is about them. It's like they got knocked out in their Bank Cup. They've really got nothing left to play for, and they're not really. It's like their heart's not in it now. Right? Some maybe they know that the squad's going to disband a bit at the end of the season. They're not. They just lost a bit of energy.
Yeah.
But Stellenbosch obviously are still fighting to get that 30-point mark. Tinkler got his 30-point mark against. He got it against Wits. And was like, basically achieved something already for myself this season, and then he beat Chiefs. They're now in line for a place in the top 8 Maritzburg. But I think Stellenbosch, it's outstanding what Steve Barker's done this year, especially in the way he's managed to grind out results, especially at home.
Yeah.
Started, I think, when they beat Pirates, they started to believe. They had the game against Sundowns, which was
Unlucky.
very,
loss.
very unlucky, and Barker had every right to be upset with the match officials in that game. And they just pressed on, and they just keep producing results. And it was Reyners with the assist. Of course, he signed a pre-contract to go to Supersport
Yeah,
next
exactly,
season,
yeah.
so showing them maybe a bit of what he can do.
This is why he bought me.
Yeah, and like you said about Sincada, that's what new signings are for. Make an impact, and he has.
Yeah.
And I think they can even push for the top 8 now. It's that tight.
I don't think
Still
about
on
it. That way the danger will come.
They mustn't think about it, but they are in a position now where it's one more win and they should be safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
One more
exactly.
win should be 30. Should be
Right.
safe.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, that's a priority, obviously.
Mm.
I mean, they played more games than
Everyone else.
everybody else. But what we've been saying, games in hand are not games won. You know, and Vets are soon finding
That's the
that
thing
out
for
also.
Wits. Yeah, they've got so
Well,
many.
the
They've 5
only
games.
team, you are correct, but the only team they play more games it is Bloemfontein Celtics. But when you look at all these other teams below them, they are basically safe. We have a lot of bad teams in PSL. We have to accept it.
Yeah, this season the team below Stellenbosch are just awful.
They are very bad.
I don't know where Amazulu are gonna pick up points. I don't know where
Leopard.
Leopards.
Polokwane.
Leopards, to be
I
fair,
think Leopards at home.
yeah,
will
they
cause them-
they'll
They've got
cause
good players.
headaches and whatever.
The journal, one of the commentators, I think it was Dwayne De Loca, he went through the name of the international playing for Black Leopard. It was quite. I was shocked. I was like, whoa,
Yeah, they've got
It's
they've
a-
got
they
They got
plenty
top
there.
players, yeah.
top international players, and where they are sitting.
Did he mean international and former internationals? Because Matlaba at one point was in the Bafana.
Well, yeah, former international.
Yeah.
Basically,
Who's turned out for their
players
country?
who play for the national team.
Yeah.
And
Who's earned caps? Yeah.
yes,
for the national
it is quite amazing when you look at it and you say, oh,
Look,
wow.
they have a good squad. I think that's why maybe the chairman was so quick to fire the Frenchman after 4 or 5 games, and then obviously Luke shouldn't have left the club. I think it was just personality clashes and just behind the scenes stuff that was going on there.
Right.
It wasn't necessarily the results, because they were they were not winning as many as he would have liked, but they were not bad as well. They were making a steady progress. But at the when your Matlabas and them arrived, Tusopala, Mokakolo Dingele, when they arrived, the intentions were clear. We're trying to go for the top 8 and we're trying to nick a cup.
Yeah.
Here and there, but it's gone all
Well,
pear-shaped.
eight games still there. In the bottom there, you win 3 games. Boom, 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 boom. You find yourself.
So you can get in that
yeah.
top 8.
No, there is a chance.
Yeah, there is. I
It's a
mean,
good
with a squad
team.
like that,
It's a very good
they should be able to stave off relegation. As we look at 2 teams who are next, probably obviously safe, cheaper, sitting in 12th. I mean, it would take a bit of a shambles for them to get drawn into it, but yeah, they still haven't made the 30-point mark, sitting on 22 points, and they lost to 3-0 against a convincing Sundowns machine. I mean, from
Could've
early
lost
on,
8
2
now, to be
minutes.
honest.
2 minutes, Lugubeni just slices through and scores, and then from there, they pretty much don't look back, Sundowns.
Yeah, I should have had more. I mean, Peter was very highly upset in his post-match with regards to the chances that were missed. I've never actually heard him have a go at his players in that manner. That, and then he told them at halftime that you are fumbling the opportunity to keep the our title hopes alive, because you've scored 1 goal. A solo effort, really.
Right.
And then the rest of the time you're doing back heels, you're trying to pass it into the net. He criticized the technique, even went as far as saying the only striker in the country that he thinks can finish with his first touch is Kermit Erasmus. The rest must better their technique. He went in hard on Gaston Serino. Some of the opportunities that he had, especially in the second half,
Right.
that instead of using his left foot, he uses his right foot. When he's supposed to pass, he shoots. He was highly upset. And mind you, they'd won 3-0. And he said if it wasn't for Sandile Mtetra being sent off, he doesn't know if they would have held on to that lead. He thinks Chipper might have turned it
Found a
around
way
somehow.
back
So
in.
they got the advantage, because they scored the second goal obviously after the red card
Yes,
by
of
the
course,
penalty,
yeah.
and then Chipper were sort of deflated.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what you get. I mean, I think he expects a reaction now when they play Bloemfontein Celtic to be a little bit more clinical, because on another day, with those kind of missed chances, 11v11,
Yeah.
you
A
squander
Chipper
points.
can find a way back into that game.
Actually, his next game in the NetBank Cup, remember, he pleads to get a team from a lower division. So he better score more than 5 goals because
see.
he's playing against VUT.
VUT,
Yes,
yeah.
VUT. And he was making that point about, in terms of like players that he's trying to rest, and saying that
Yeah.
the likes of Onyango, he's going to take a break. You can kind of let teams like VUT get the other players who are in your squad to help,
He was just clever
rest.
with Onyango. He took him out to bring Mwene in just
Yeah.
to give him the feel that, hey, the next game I think you start.
Yeah.
I've also heard Pizzo say things like Mazzola was mentioning before, like after a Champions League game or two, or maybe only one, but he was moaning about his players not finishing. I mean, he does moan about his players not finishing a lot.
Even when he was a Bafana
When I
coach.
first saw those quotes, honestly, I was like, Pizzo, you just won 3-0. Will you calm down a little bit? I mean, I was just like,
That's why he's a winner, John
chill.
T.
But I get, thinking about it today, I've kind of thought to myself, well, maybe he's, it is a way of keeping your players motivated.
toes,
You
yeah.
don't want them to now be complacent.
Yeah.
Say,
Sure.
okay, well, we've won this easily. And I do think, Sereno almost scored another worldie, which certainly was bloody good technique. Hit the top of the crossbar.
Yeah.
And then he set up Vilakazi with a sublime pass that I reckon
Yeah.
most players in the PSL wouldn't do.
Wouldn't be
They
able
would
to
try
do,
and
yeah.
finish, but
Right.
he just gave the easier opportunity to Vilakazi. So yeah, in some sense, I get where Pizzo's coming from, but I also think he kind
He
of
was
gets
a bit-
carried
yeah,
away
he did
Yeah.
get
and
carried
likes
away.
playing this kind of thing where he's like,
Big matter.
"Oh, we can't score. We need to score more. It's
Yeah.
not enough. Better, better."
Oh,
and
it's
I
okay.
think
It's-
it might be a
it's
psychological
excellent.
weapon, and if
Yeah,
it
for
works,
sure.
great.
No,
It's like
exactly.
this
I think he's
constant
asking
winding
for
up of
excellence.
Kaizer Chiefs about the fact that they don't have to play in Africa. If he ends up winning the title, then he's basically it's worked.
Yeah.
So who cares if
Exactly.
he does it every week?
Exactly. Before we move on, I saw you had words with him on Twitter regarding the whole contract situation. What's the latest? And no, we're not going to wait until Wednesday this time.
No, I mean it is what it is. As far as I know, hasn't signed the contract. I still stick by my story. The reason why they are protracted contract talks is because he wants to start up some sort of grassroots football development of some sort, and I think Sundowns see it as a potential conflict of interest because they've also got a youth development system and
Right.
whatever. So that's what it is. I don't think it's it might have a little bit to do maybe with the money, but the coach is on the record obviously saying that it's got nothing to do. It doesn't have. It's not about the money. I
Right.
wouldn't say it doesn't have anything to do with the money, but I think it doesn't have much to do with the money. It's about the principle and what he really his passion, what he wants, and it's that
Come on, you're a head coach of a club, and the club have a youth development. You are the head coach of that youth development. You cannot go and start a private one.
My question would be though, if
the
Pizzo wins
point?
the league this season and then wins the Champions League,
Yeah, what's left to do?
obviously,
What next?
What else
What's
can he
left
do
to
at
do at
Sundowns?
Sundowns?
So
Maybe it
we-
is time for him to go and
Yeah.
So leave
get a
the
big money offer somewhere else and
leave-
go and
I
leave
don't
the-
take
think
it.
anything is wrong with leaving once the
Yeah.
work is done. It's
Listen,
like
I got
Ronaldo.
I got the phone call when the story of the contract started. I got the phone call from a Tip Mazembe. François Kitenge from Tip Mazembe called me. He said, "Can you please check if pitch is available?" No, seriously.
It's just
No,
hit him up.
when the story started.
when was it?
Yeah,
Last year.
last year sometime.
It-
yeah.
last
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
It was in December, actually.
Yeah.
It's-
No, before that, I think just when the season kicked off.
So he phoned you, Chris. He was like, just check there. Pizza.
No, his pitch was available.
Yeah.
And I couldn't check because I know nobody from Sundown. And
Should have called Mazzola.
my relation with Pizzo is he took me for a lunch because I did criticize his team when they lost the season. I said they think they're
Overrated.
overrated.
Right.
And you know the story, and the story becomes so big. Now I hear him criticizing his play. I'm very happy. So, but,
You guys are on the same page now.
yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for the
So he can
update
go
as
to
far
Tip-
as the
he can go
contract.
to Tip Mazembe.
He could.
He
He
could
could.
go to
He
Tip
could do
Mazembe.
well and earn dollars.
Oh, this is
Lots and lots of dollars.
another top team in DRC. They are looking for a coach. So.
He's got options. That's a man who's spoiled for choice. And yeah, why shouldn't he be? He's earned it. As we move on to the next game that we're looking at in Polokwane City. Yeah, I mean, still stuck on 20 points with the rest of the Limpopo teams and Amazulu.
But they won.
But it's one of those, it's a weird one. It's one of those wins that don't do much for you in the greater scheme of things. But it is 3 points, and maybe they can work from there.
Mentally, it has a lot to do. For many reasons. Number one, they took a lead.
Yeah.
That is something big. They couldn't do it this season. And then after losing the lead, they still went on to win the game.
Right.
So it shows character a little bit.
It
for
does,
me.
but I want to see them do it back to back.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing we
Yeah,
cry about
that's
in
the
South
thing,
Africa
yeah.
is like consistency. It's like you can win a game.
We all want to see that. I am part of the people who want PSL to have more good fixtures. Like now we have an addition Maritzburg Chiefs, regardless of what happened next season, it is two big fixtures already. We know
Right.
Maritzburg Chiefs is going to be a big game.
Right.
So Polokwane City used to be one of the teams that we wanted to watch, and I still don't know. I wish I was an investigating journalist to find out what's happening in Polokwane. There must be something, really. The team cannot just crumble.
Well,
In the period of 4 months, the team just went. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what's happening.
I mean, let's see if they can change things around. But Cape Town City, traveling side, in a situation that they're in 11th, but also still not safe per se.
Yeah, I mean, talking about inconsistency, that's another team that's obviously inconsistent. Rickering had it looked like it turned it around. There were, a few good run of games, and then all of a sudden some sort of capitulation as well, including being knocked out of the cup by Mbombela United. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that if there was an award for disappointment of the season right now, Cape Town City would be for a club would be getting it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, they started the season, I think
I expect them to finish
if any.
fourth.
And then
You expect
No,
them
no.
to
In the
finish?
beginning of the season,
Oh,
when
you
you
expected them.
Did them to
No, I expect that.
I
I
thought
thought
you
the
said
same
you
as the
expect
Supersport
them.
prediction. He
Well,
now
no, no,
expects
no.
Cape Town City
No,
to
no,
finish
Cape Town
fourth.
City, I was saying in the beginning of the season,
Yeah.
I said Kaizer Chiefs, they will do better than Orlando Pirates and Cape Town City.
Okay.
But I did not see Cape Town City to be as bad
As they are.
They
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
Orlando Pirates, they did, I don't know, their survival come from somewhere, but it was bad. It was a very, very bad season for them as well.
Let's see. I mean, with Cape Town City, they're 6 points away from supposed safety. It obviously depends. Like we say, 1 game or 2 games, you string together results in the Absa Premiership and it changes the picture completely. As we move on to Amazulu and Golden Arrows in a derby down in KZN. And Amazulu, the home side, just not able to get going. I mean,
They can't buy a win. I mean, it's gonna get worse now because obviously
We're
the
not talking about the Glad Africa Championship when you say they can't buy a win.
no, I don't mean it literally.
No. Glad Africa thing.
They wish they could buy a game.
They wish they could.
They wish they could buy a game, but
Yeah.
I think it's only gonna get worse with the changes in the technical team. Mabuti, delivering
Leaving,
a shock resignation,
Yeah.
going to TS
Right.
Galaxy. Maybe Amazulu will find him in the Glad Africa Championship next season. Ayanda Dlamini being elevated from MDC to being assistant for Joseph Vukuzic. It's getting tough. And Joseph also saying he's resilient, he's sticking by his guns, he's not going anywhere, he's not a quitter. But my goodness, it's, they got rid of Kevin thinking that if we stick with Kevin, we're going to get relegated. And they brought in Joseph, and now it's looking like they could get relegated.
Right.
It's difficult, and when you down below there, it's so difficult. Every game is just a mountain to climb. They've been crying foul about some of the decisions in that game. The penalty that Knox Mutizwa got for Arrows to take the lead.
It seemed a bit soft, didn't it?
It did seem a bit soft. I can understand where they're coming from, but those are the kind of things now you look for those
Yes,
sort
when
of
you're at
things.
the bottom there.
When you're at the bottom, you just look to
Everything.
grab at anything because you're so desperate to climb up the log table. I mean,
Right.
But Steve is doing well. I'm very happy for Steve. 2 wins in the row, beating Supersport and getting a result away from home. Eri Temashstone is 30 points. So
He was very. He explained that now we got like 10, we can go for 40, blah blah blah. I was like, wow, Steve, just play football, man. Let's just play some football.
So-
Like you're safe.
Yeah,
You're safe.
Steve, what's his next target? I think his path. He has Stellenbosch, he has Black Leopard, he has Orlando Pirates. Steve will be probably in his top 8.
Yeah.
He's a target for a team like Golden. Our top 8 is a decent season. So
Yeah.
he is in the mark. That's why people don't talk about him.
well,
Good
he
bounce
should
back
he
as
should
well.
get that. They should really try to get
Cement the
that
top
top 8 place after being knocked out by
VUT.
VUT.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was
I
a
mean,
good result, especially after VUT. It was a good result.
bounce
Yeah.
back after VUT. And I think
Otherwise, the
I
English
thought
would
that
have been gone.
Compella for me, Steve Compella overreacted a bit to what the coach said about him, the VUT coach. The VUT coach was just showing some bravado,
Yeah,
which I think
no,
is
sure.
nice. It creates a bit of atmosphere around
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game,
yeah.
and Steve was like, felt disrespected or something.
Oh.
that.
Like when he was at Chiefs and that
Yeah.
that
Yeah, I
other
think he
guy
overreacted a bit, you
at what was the name of that team from
snap.
Kamil Rafir also?
Yeah. I forget the name.
But that criticism where
Yeah.
the guy had to then change his tune and apologize, and because Steve was moaning about the whole thing, disrespect.
I think and just for me, obviously Mutiz were to have got to 11 goals and with the double there,
Yeah.
and I saw some Zimbabwean report linking him to a move to Turkey, so maybe he will go and join. It was to teenage Hadebe's side that he went to, so there was some sort of report on that.
Okay, I mean,
the
yeah.
internet.
Look, it's looking safe for Golden Arrows. Like we say, let's see if they push for that top 8 finish. And in the mix with them, obviously, are the likes of Highlands and Bloom Celtic. They'll also be looking for a top 8 finish. Highlands
Next
with
game
a
actually
good
is
victory.
against Highland Park.
They're for Golden Arrows.
Yeah,
Good
it's
to
against
play
Highland
them
Park.
on Wednesday as well.
So okay, it's about to get interesting. Highlands, good victory at home, back to back,
Finally.
and also shows when you have owners that don't just think about canning or firing coaches the moment things don't go their way. ODG's turned things around now.
Yeah, and I think Shalulile also got
Double.
double
Yeah, double,
figures. Also, I mean, it's good
And
from
then a double assist for Mbata as well.
Yeah, yeah.
who
There
There was
assisted
no
both
way
goals.
ODG could have been fired. Like I said it before, he is Highland Park.
Right.
I think he was going through a bad time.
Yeah.
His stress gets into you. He lost the cup final, and then he lost a game that he believes the referee was they were against him, and all those stuff. It gets to the coach, but I don't think Larry did even think. He didn't
For a
even
second, yeah.
cross his mind
Yeah.
to fire Owen. He is Highland Park, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess in that situation, Bloom Celtic also, it's a battle because when they played each other the last time, Celtic gave them a tough time. So you're kind of seeing it's well matched sides, and in that if I'm at home, I'm going to make it count. And Highlands did it as Celtic did in the previous leg. But convincing at the end of the day.
Yeah, and they got a bit of a Easter egg present from Jackson Mabukhwani. They don't know what he's doing. But
Yeah, no, Jackson didn't go for the second
Early
one.
Easter egg going.
It was an Easter egg.
Yeah,
an
you know,
early
so
Easter egg.
yeah, so I haven't got a clue what he was doing there. He cost the team.
He did.
Cost the
Twice.
team.
I was thinking about it. I was like, Rocky Horror, move over, because Jackson's coming with his own horror show. It was a strange one for an experienced keeper like that.
Exactly. That was my next point to say. You obviously had set out the cup game before, I think it was, because of an injury and obviously some rotation as well, and the team had produced some good results, and he comes back into the starting lineup and a howler of note to hand
This team
Highlands
still recovering from Patrick Tignam.
Park.
And then you have Jackson come and do these things.
Exactly. So he'll have a hard, long ponder about that. but you hope.
No. I'm just.
But you hope in the run-in for the remainder of the season, you don't get mistakes like that.
Yeah, no.
Not from a former Bafana goalkeeper,
Yeah.
highest level at Orlando Pirates,
Yeah.
playing in the Champions League. I mean, what was he doing?
Yeah, but the bad thing about a goalkeeper mistake is the defender immediately the next game they don't trust you. The indecision start coming in your mind and that become a big problem.
But
because-
do defenders also not trust themselves when they don't help the keeper? I mean, I get it.
No,
like,
they don't think that
in the
way.
case of Jackson, he messed up.
no,
but
like
then
he
when
wa-
you looked at the
like he was
Pay
saying,
situation,
like he was saying, the
Yeah.
goalkeeper's mistake is always magnified.
right?
So in the team itself, give a goalkeeper back pass and he misses it, become a goal. You see players will try to turn with the ball instead of just passing the ball to the goalkeeper
Right, of
because your mind is playing and he has a big game to play next time because Shabalala won't look at him again.
Yeah, no, that was a tricky one. I'm just thinking about, Anyway, let's leave it at that. Dion Otto, he's the one who got the winner for the Wits. And you were saying you noticed that the coach's mood changed because after the Maritzburg game, he was a man of very few words.
Gavin Hunt is very much like that. When his team loses, good luck
course,
getting more than 3 sentences out of him. When his
Right.
team wins, he'll tell you anything you want to hear. Or he'll just answer any question.
Yeah.
So I wasn't that surprised, but after the Maritzburg game, it was like torture getting a word out of him. And then someone sent me the audio from the Limpopo province, and he was just like talking.
It's chatty.
Yeah.
Chatty.
So he was obviously very happy with another great away performance from Wits. 20 points out of 27 on the road.
That's
pretty
Second best
ridiculous.
team.
that's good.
No. On the road, they're
they've only lost
formidable.
once at Cape Town City. They have
Can we
been
make
outstanding.
Vets play away game all the time?
Well, that's the thing.
Is it
I think
possible?
they need to lobby to play either in Durban or in Dobsonville because
Yeah.
at Bidvest Stadium.
It's cursed.
I was saying to someone today, I've been to a lot of Vits home games this season, and if you watch them play at home, you would be like, how are this team even
Like
remotely in
challenging
the
for the
title
title.
race? Because
Yeah.
they just, it's like teams do sit back and defend, but they need to have more of a plan to be able
yeah.
to break them down. It's no good after the game like
Do,
Gavin Hunt
do you
said
guys
against
still believe
Maritzburg.
Pelembe still have
Pelembe's
that thing to play full
Pelembe's-
90? I mean, to
I don't
play.
know about 90 minutes,
Yeah.
but he's still a good player.
He is a skillful player. You don't
Obviously
take it
got
away.
himself
but-
sent off and has missed the last couple of games.
Yeah.
But he's still a good player. Gavin's been rotating as well. He dropped Hotto for the Maritzburg game to the bench and then brought him back for this game, and he scored obviously the winner. But I don't think he says like he hasn't got much choice because they've been playing so much, which you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
understand because they've been playing in CAF, and they only just recently got knocked out of the Confed Cup. So I think that Witz's problem is their home form, and I don't think they can win the league unless they can somehow sort that out. Because if they can't sort that out, they're just gonna win one away, and then
I just
at
want to
home
check
they're
out
gonna
how
have
many
another.
home
Like
games.
Highlands Park would be another example, and they've won a couple this year, but it's not. There's no consistency
Right.
home, yeah.
on their own patch, and they just. I mean, they were very flat against Maritzburg, so. I do think Gordinho looks like he's been a good acquisition. I think you're going to see, as long as they're fit and not suspended, you're going to see Tyson Latchwire playing most of the
So you'll be
season
happy
now.
that-
Right back,
The next 5 games of Big
Gordinho,
Vets.
and Mkwanazi and Hlanti on the left.
On
And
the
they've
left.
obviously got Chiefs twice. They've got I think they still have... No, they've played Sundowns twice.
They've played
They've got,
Sundowns.
They've got Super Sport.
they've got Super
But
Sport.
away,
yeah.
the next
Away,
5
yeah.
games, 3 of them is away, and the 2 at home, and the 2 at home is against Chippa. Whoa, they have to. Oh no, Chippa, they're playing them twice because of the net bank. So they've got Chippa, and they've got.
You're playing Highlands this week,
and
right?
Mazula Highland, yeah.
That should give them a solid base, but they still need to get a little bit more out of their front players.
Right.
I mean, they
And
signed the
they've got Chiefs
Cameroonian
away.
Hasn't done
Evan
much.
Gar. He holds the ball up all right, but he doesn't really do much else.
Right.
And he was muscled too easily off the ball against Maritzburg, I thought. He's got the winger he signed from Portugal, Sejola, who looks pretty useful. He's got some
Yeah.
good pace, but he needs someone to get on the end of his crosses. And Motupa, he seems to like as an impact player, so he brings
Doesn't
it off the
start
bench.
much, yeah.
So there's players there, but I think that they need to sort out their home form. Maybe they can lobby to play in Durban for the rest of the season, because I think they've won both the home games. They've
Yeah,
played in
and
Durban.
if we look at the situation of these games in hand, I mean, they played the least amount of games, 17 only. It's now starting about trying to claw back that gap between them and the team at the top in Kaizer Chiefs. How easy do you think it's going to be for Bidvest Wits?
As long as they're in the cup games, it
Yeah.
is difficult for them. If they win the next game, which is the Nedbank Cup, if they win the Nedbank Cup, which means they still have another extra game.
Right.
So it is tough for them. And I see Klachawe now is playing as a left midfielder. Vets that I know they play 4-4-2. This new system is, for me, looks like the players are getting confused. They play 3 at the back,
Yeah.
and they play Otto Klachawe there, and it comes back. And Vets is a 4-4-2 team.
Right.
Also, this thing of Goss maybe being banned. I know Brandon Peterson played against Barocca, but Goss and Doty presumably being banned
Right.
Yeah.
at some point. Though I don't know
But they
quite
have
Putting
why.
hands
He's
on
not
the
yet
PSL
right.
seem to like stall on these things, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know why.
Like, yeah.
8 more games. They might ban them for next season.
I think 4 games. If Makoro got banned for 4 games,
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise you're going to ban them for 6 months. They're going to appeal. They're going to win the appeal. And what's the point of all that?
Well, it's to
All
look like
those
you did
court
something.
appearances.
It's to look like you did something. It's the same thing with the
Vets will
Man
just use
City
the
thing.
precedent with Makolo and be like, but how can you do that
They'll
to
obviously
us?
argue. They'll use that as an argument.
Yeah.
as
Yeah, sure.
Part of
There
the
is a
heads of
precedent.
argument.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They must just ban them for 4 games and then... Peterson's a good keeper. He's a good young keeper.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is in terms of, let's reflect quickly on the midweek action. Bidvest's tough test against Highlands Park, and then Sundowns Celtic are going to definitely be in the mood because it's Sundowns. But both these teams need victories on Wednesday. Do you think that's how it's going to pan out?
Look, I think just how much Sundowns can benefit from Chiefs losing is if they pick up points against Celtic.
Right.
You know, if they don't pick up points there, you know,
It
Chiefs
means nothing.
Yeah, Chiefs will sort of feel like, okay, because Pirates have played a game more, and
Right.
Chiefs might still feel, look, if we win our game in hand, then we restore the lead to 9 points, and
Right.
it's still a bit difficult. And then we've got the derby coming also. If they beat Pirates there, then there's some sort of distance. So for Sundowns to feel like they've benefited, excuse the pun there, from from Chiefs losing. Then definitely they have to beat Celtic. And Celtic can be a tricky side, you know. They've got, you know, very good players. But Sundowns will have watched that Jackson clip and feel very confident that
Just put pressure there.
just put pressure there.
What he's saying is, it's going to be mind-blowing for Kaizer Chiefs supporters to have another team in 40.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if
So
Sundowns do win that game, it
they'll
puts them
have
up to
41.
41,
So which
and it's
means
only 4 points.
It
between them and
will
Chiefs.
work badly for Kaizer Chiefs supporters.
The
and
supporters,
Kaizer Chiefs
maybe.
itself.
How do you think the players are going to handle it? This is the true test now. Is the mentality?
Players is simple. Win every game, you win the league. Supporters, for them, it is jittering.
Yeah, but I mean, it's tough fixtures. I mean,
Yeah.
to play Vets twice,
Yeah.
you know, and still have Sundowns. Sundowns are going to FNB, you know. You know, there's still the derby, and you know, of the two teams, yes.
So basically, they're playing the top 3 teams.
Yeah,
4 times.
Chiefs are top of the log, but of the two teams, Pirates are in better form, and they look better.
Yeah.
You know, even in terms of their gameplay and all of
Are
that.
you feeling Pirates maybe winning?
It's a bit of a stretch, but I mean, if you know, that's a thing that
Yeah.
we were talking earlier about consistency.
Right,
if you're
sure.
consistent enough, you stand a chance.
Right.
Because when Zimbabwe took over, nobody would have given them a chance.
of
You know,
course
people thought, oh, here we go again. They're gonna take some time to
Yeah,
adapt
to gel and
to the
like-
way he
yeah.
wants them to play. He's gonna take time to understand the players. Then he's been in charge of 9 games and they've lost 1, which was a cup game.
Yeah.
You know, the rest, it's, you know, what, 8, it's 6 victories and 1 draw, or 7 victories and 1 draw, or whatever.
It's
you know.
amazing.
So it's incredible. So that's all you need to have a chance. And I think they will most probably continue that run of form because they've got the players to do it. They've got the squad. I think that's what we've all been saying when Micho was in charge, when Rulani was in charge in the interim, and now Zimbabwe. That the talent is there, you know, the potential is there. They just need to play with a bit of structure, which is what they're doing now, and get they've got someone who's finally now banging in the goals.
And
Then whereas when Micho was there with Rulani, it was picking between Justin Shonga, Mabasa, and, you know, Mulenga at times, and you know they were spreading the goals between the 3 of them, and they went scoring
as regularly
as you would want. But there's Mango, 19 starts, 14 goals. Jeez, that's incredible.
I'm just going to the Mamelodi Sundown record. Out of 11 games, they only lost 1 against Orlando Pirates. In all competition, in Champions League and everything.
Yeah.
They're incredible run as well, but because we expect them to do that, we don't talk much about how consistent they
But the
are.
thing is, their run includes a couple of draws, though. You know, whereas
sure.
Zimbabwe has been winning most of them.
Right. Which has been the most critical thing because in a title race,
Exactly.
it's 3
You
points.
need to win.
You
They've
need
drawn.
points.
They've of all the league games, they've drawn 1. You know, it's 8 league games. They've won 7. You know, so
it
that's
seems like how Kaizer Chiefs they were in the beginning of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, yeah,
I was checking at the game 13, the point that Orlando Pirates accumulated to now compared to Chiefs is scary. Chiefs has accumulated 11 points, Orlando Pirates 22.
I think
So
Chiefs
twice as good as
must be
Chiefs.
careful of panicking though as well because I mean against Maritzburg they created so many chances.
Right.
Another day they win that game and nobody really says anything about Akpay, which is why again it's kind of very reactive to drop Akpay for,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the derby.
Yeah.
No,
It's
exactly.
fine to play Kune this weekend because you can call him your cup keeper for now. And
For sure.
I think with his fitness
and-
issues
and
and things,
win.
it might suit him to
and
play
win.
not all the time.
Yeah,
In terms
exactly.
of his injuries.
Yeah.
Play him and win. Because if you play him and you lose,
Well, that's the thing now.
That's
So
the thing,
what
if
are people
lose
going to
to
do if
Pirates
they
in the
lose?
Derby, then what? It wasn't Kune, it wasn't Ekpe after all, it
Exactly.
was something else. So.
So, I mean, but as it stands, come the end of this month, things could be a lot tighter and a lot closer.
Obviously, if Wits play Chiefs twice, and if they win those games, then it's just anyone's league title.
Yeah.
Wits will be probably right almost top.
I think for us, and, for
Pirates
us
will
and
be in
journalists,
there.
that's what we want.
No, exactly.
And
I
then
mean,
this
if
was
you're-
the perfect
if you're
weekend
Chief-
for the neutral in the sense of
Yeah.
Chiefs losing and Sundowns, Wits, and Pirates all winning their games.
No, for
Yeah.
sure.
Perfect.
Chiefs fans are probably panicking at the stage.
Chiefs
Like
fans
you
are,
say.
yeah.
They're very
But,
upset.
yeah, let's see.
And they
Let's
found
see
their
if they've got the
target.
metal to handle it.
Look, I think Chiefs have the mentality also. It's just that obviously when everyone around you, especially the fans,
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the fans were angry at FNB Stadium about Akpe and whatever. I mean, when you've won 14 out of 20 games, you've lost only 3. I mean, it's being fickle,
Right.
The coaches, then the players have delivered to some degree to
Right.
stop to stay top of the log for as long as they have.
Right.
And they've got the team. They've
Yeah.
got Castro, they've got Nukovic, they've got Billiard, they've got Katsande, Maluleke, Bakas. They've got the team.
But then you look at the competition. The
yeah.
competition's
And
littered
the
with
numbers are
talent
there.
as well.
The numbers are there as well. They're the joint best defense team
Yeah.
with Mamelodi Sundowns if you don't count Vets because they play less games.
Right.
And then going forward, they're the best attacking team. So the numbers are there, guys. Come on, give Middleton a chance. Let him do the job.
No, we are. We're just saying that the
a lot of
conditions
people- a lot
are
of
changing.
people- I was in the stadium watching them playing, and supporters, they don't really like the guy. I don't know why. The numbers are showing that he's on the top of the log. Why don't you like him? Why do you think he's not doing the
Is
right
it just
thing?
the supporters?
Sorry?
Is it just the supporters who don't like him?
Wow, based on what I saw.
Who knows? Who knows? Let's see how it pans out. This is actually fixing up to be quite the end to the season. You've got so many, little storylines that are running. You got a German in Middendorp who is probably not the ideal candidate, the candidate of choice for the people, but he's delivering. People want to see attractive football. We've spoken about this. They want to see, all that stuff. But at the end of the day,
I'm still waiting for something from that attractive football from Orlando Pirates.
well, let's see. They
6
might,
years.
let's see what happens.
6 years.
This is the thing. It's the battle of all these things that's happening at the moment. But
But they do, you see, Orlando Pirates play attractive football because of the players that they do have.
right.
What do you expect from Katsande to dribble how many players in the middle?
No, I'm
He
not
doesn't
saying that's not.
So what is attractive
Katsande's
football?
job.
Yesterday, Black Leopard played attractive football.
Yeah.
Take the ball left, right, go left, bring it back, go here. At the end, nil point.
Like, you're always gonna find a match to fit that narrative. Nice one, Christopher Mongo. But
Cannot wait. Well, look,
you know.
Chiefs have been effective.
Effective.
I do think they're somewhat limited. They have players who can break a game, but structurally
Yeah.
they're not always the most exciting to watch. You have
Right.
to accept that. But I do think Middendorp deserves credit for what he's done with them, and I do think that they definitely shouldn't panic after the Maritzburg game because they were the better team, and unlike Wits, who I thought were deservedly beaten, I don't think Maritzburg necessarily deserved that.
Right.
They just got 2 chances,
I'm
and they're in the sort of form that they took.
In 2 minutes.
Kutumela's assist for Klaassen was also like, such
In 2
awareness
minutes,
to know Klaassen is there to head it in.
right.
So, but it's easy. On another day, Chiefs go 1 up. They probably go 2 up. They probably go 3 up, and then everyone's like, "Oh, Chiefs are back."
Yeah.
So I don't think they.
Somebody's going to get 4-0 from Chiefs very soon. I don't
Yeah.
know who.
Do you think it's the Pirates?
No.
I don't know. I mean, Nokovic, it looks... That guy, each time he gets in the box, he looks like he's going to score.
Well, they are playing Amazulu in the future, so it
Could be 4.
it could happen then.
Somebody going to get
Could happen
hammered
then.
by Kaizer Chiefs very soon.
Who knows? Let's see how it pans out.
I always ask people, does like Mamelodi Sundowns play attractive football?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because it is effective.
There we go. Let's see. Ernst might have something to say about that. Let's see how it ends at the end of the season. Some form of football will be effective in getting a team to the top of the table. We'll deliberate as to what it is when we have that conclusion. Gents, thank you so much for your time and for your thoughts. That's it for this week as we wrap up on things. But remember, we've also launched frunsports.com.
Yeah.
Go check that out. That's the new website. We've got news on there, live scores as far as games are concerned on the go in various leagues also around the world, and different sporting codes. So that's frunsports.com. Check that out. But for me and the team, gents, we'll see you in a week's time. We'll see you in a week's time. To the team behind the scenes, thank you so much for everything. We'll catch you online at Front Sports. That's on Twitter and all on the socials. For myself, Gamzambata, and everybody here, have a good evening. Take care.
As Team LeBron registered a hard-fought 157-155 win over Team Giannis in the NBA All-Star Game.
At the end of the day, you can win a finals game.
Welcome to Front Sports' roundup of the top 5 African plays from this past week. Making the list at number 5 is Islam Slimani, who continued his impressive goal-scoring form to inspire Monaco to a 1-0 victory over Montpellier in the French League. The Algerian has now scored in each of his last 3 games for the first time in his career. Christy Uchebe features at number 4 after sealing a move to Benfica from Swedish club Asi on a 3.5-year deal. The Nigerian becomes the second African to join the club this year, following the arrival of South African striker Thembi Kgatlana last month. Asisato Shawala storms her way into number 3 after scoring her 6th brace of the season to help Barcelona thump Sporting Huelva 7-0. The Nigerian has now scored 8 goals in her last 5 matches. Senegal's Sadio Mane came off the bench to score the winner as Liverpool won 1-0 at Norwich to continue their title charge. The strike was Mane's 100th of his English club career across all competitions, scoring 25 for Southampton and 75 for Liverpool. Our top star of the week is Uganda's world 10,000 meter champion Joshua Cheptegei, who broke the 5-kilometer road world record by 27 seconds in Monaco. The 23-year-old ran 12 minutes 51 seconds to smash the previous record, set by Kenya's Ronex Kipruto only 1 month ago en route to his 10-kilometer world record. For more news and updates, be sure to check out frunsports.com. Anthony Davis sank the game-winning free throw as Team LeBron registered a hard-fought 157-155 win over Team Giannis in the NBA All-Star Game.
At the end of the day, you can win a finals game at the free throw line. It's a lot of things that happen on the playground that you can't do in our game too, where you can literally foul every single time and not get disqualified. So, I've been in games where you've won games at the free throw line, and that's all part of the game.
Kawhi Leonard was named the first winner of the Kobe Bryant MVP Award.
It was very special. Like I said, I had a relationship with him. Words can't explain how happy I am for it. Able to put that trophy in my room, in my trophy room, and just be able to see, Kobe name on there. It just means a lot to me.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, who captained his team, led his squad with 25 points.
So after the game, my brother came down and he said this has been the most fun All-Star that he's been a part of. And I asked him why. He told me because you guys was really competitive. You guys were playing to win. And, Team Giannis, that's what we were trying to do.
Mikel Arteta has called for more consistency from Nicolas Pepe after his masterclass in the 4-0 win over Newcastle United.
Hopefully, we just need consistency from him. Which from wide players and talented players are from in this league is not easy to get, because obviously the most difficult thing to do is create things. But said some things with Nico that he needs to maintain game by game. He knows that.
Jose Mourinho has jokingly questioned whether his Manchester United team will be handed the 2017-18 Premier League title due to Manchester City's financial fair play troubles.
I didn't lose one single minute analyzing what UEFA and FIFA they have to analyze. If I go into that analyze, I have to ask if the team that finished second in 2018 is going to be champion, yes or no.